the remix. Come on now.
Welcome to another episode of Just Ask Cher Live. I'm your host, Cher Jones, and today we are talking about, if you haven't already guessed by my musical intro, whether you heard it or not, especially those of you on the replay, we are talking about the art of the remix. And you know what I'm doing right now. For those of you who know me, I am looking for the timer because we can't have this show without a timer. So there we go. Check it out right there. And I'm even going to press start because that's a good thing. So today, like I said, is all about the art of the content remix in 2020. What works now? Because what's the point of creating incredible content if you're not going to remix it? You can't just share it once because you put so much time, effort, and energy into creating this awesome content, and then all of a sudden, poof, it's gone like it never existed, and that's not good, right? So in this episode of Just Ask Cher, I'm going to take you through 6 ideas, I believe. 6 solid ideas of what's working in 2020. Because, you know, we've talked about repurposing content in the past. As you guys know, I like to call it remix because I think it sounds a little cooler. But that's what we're going to be talking about tonight on Just Ask Cher Live. And if we haven't met, my name is Cher Jones. I am a social media trainer that specializes in the personal brand for business. So I work with corporate professionals as well as entrepreneurs serving corporate and, of course, all those leaders out there who want to develop a powerful personal brand for business and use social media at work for work because it's a thing. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to ask you one critical question. Are you team live or team replay? You let me know right now in the comments below, and I am going to check just to make sure I'm broadcasting because, you know, that's always important, right? And like I said, it's all about the remix. Like today, I remixed the hair because the hair was by the minute just growing wider and wider and wider. And then I just had to shove it in a bun because it would not have been cute, my friends. I tell you that much right now. So as you guys are telling me, team live, team replay, let me know. And let's see. Yes, I am broadcasting. And guys, for those of you tuning in live, I was late to my own party. What's up with that? And thank you guys so much for joining me. And let's see. I see Julie. I see Junaid. I see Fernando from Los Angeles, California. I see David. I see Jared. Oh my gosh. I see Denisha. Yes, team live. And congratulations to you, by the way. I was loving your intro video challenge. She accepted the challenge. For those of you who don't know, I challenge all of you to create an intro video on your LinkedIn profile that lets people know who you are and how you can help them. And they're powerful, and I've seen so many people do them and get business or create opportunities as a result. So what are you waiting for? Jump on my profile after the show, of course, and you'll see in my featured section, you'll see how to create your own LinkedIn intro video. And so, like I said before, we've got people accepting the challenge. I see Cheryl, talked to her earlier today, and it's always awesome to connect with people when you talk to them on the phone. So, Fernando, Ilya, and Christopher Team Live, Jared, you guys are awesome. Thank you guys so much for joining me. So, all these Team Livers, and like I said, we are talking about the art of the content remix because if you are putting thought leadership out there, and this is not just for you content creators, if you are appearing on somebody else's content, you can do everything that I'm talking about today and create your own content from somebody else's content. Talk about, you know, not having to do all the work, but getting all the glory, at least some of it. And that is what you can do with the tips that I have in store for you today. I'm so excited. And of course, my scroll stopper is a fantastic idea. You want to take thought leadership to the next level, you got to watch this style. And Tap That App was actually an app recommendation this week, and it's going to help you with the art of the remix. So either way, I got a packed show for you guys, and I cannot wait to jump in and share what I know with you over the next 31 minutes and 39 seconds. I'm going to try to stick to the timer tonight. Bet, right? Hopefully I stay within my time. All right. So the question that I have for you is, are you actively remixing or repurposing, if you want to be the normal, boring way, your content? Do you do that right now? Yes or no in the comments below. Should you be doing it? Absolutely. And the reason why I thought about doing this show tonight is because I'm putting myself on notice. Because you guys, for those of you who's saying no, you're not the only one. I need to do a better job remixing this content because I create a great show. Wouldn't you guys agree? Well, I'll at least tell myself that it's a great show. And I give a lot of cool nuggets away. Why am I not taking what I've put this time, effort, and energy into creating and creating smaller bite-sized chunks? Because quite frankly, not everybody has the time to read a 10-minute blog post where you put your heart, soul, blood, sweat, and tears into, or a half an hour, 36-minute show, or a video, or whatever it is you're creating, a guide, whatever it is. Not everybody's going to consume it in that way. So what you do when you create or remix your content, or like I said, if you're on somebody else's show, somebody else's podcast, in somebody else's article, whatever the case may be, you can give yourself the gift that keeps on giving, which is content. Because let me tell you, your content lets people know what's in here, lets people get an idea of who you are and what you know. And more importantly, it builds your credibility and it keeps you top of mind. So if you're going to put so much effort into this content creation, recreate it, remix it, repurpose it, whatever you want to call it, but you got to re-up on your content. So yes or no, I'm going to check in the comments right now to see what you guys are saying. So Wendy said, go Cher. Shirley says, no, I hear you, Shirley. I am in the same boat. I need to do a better job. I do it here and there, but I need to be consistent. And we all know that consistency is key. For example, you guys know that I show up every Tuesday night at 8-ish tonight, 8-ish o'clock, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Had a few technical difficulties you got to work through, but it is what it is. And Kimberly's saying yes. But what it's saying before I got distracted, because I'm so easily distracted, is the fact that when you are consistent, when you consistently show up, people remember you. And the whole point of them remembering you is they can either remember you for an opportunity, a project, a client, whatever, but they're able to refer you because you stay top of mind. I've talked about this before, is we often lose out on opportunities, not because we're not the right person for the opportunity, but because we weren't remembered and somebody else was. So this is the way you stay top of mind. And of course, you only have so much time. So you can't constantly be creating new content from scratch. So this is the perfect way to do this. So I'm loving already. Thumbs up, hand claps, love. I love that, by the way, because it lets me know that I'm hitting a nerve. So if I'm hitting a nerve right now, if you're feeling this right now and you need to know what I'm talking about, I love it. So Jamila says, yes, if I'd lose my mind if I didn't. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about right there. This is the way to extend the life and to keep your brain. And Maureen says, hey, Cher. And Jennifer says, want to be doing it. I hear you. Julie says, no. Hugo says, hi. Is in the middle of it right now. Yes, Cornelius, I'm telling you, this is awesome. Marcello says, great show, fabulous show from Julie. Earlier, I was considering remixing some and reshaping some that is relevant. And that's what I'm talking about. Just finding what is relevant and remix, reshape, revive, re-up. Get that gift that keeps on giving, Carl. I hear you. Less is more, but it's all about exactly when it comes to work, less is more. We're here to work. You can't be on LinkedIn all the time or wherever you are, whether you're on YouTube, LinkedIn, or whatever, and constantly be creating content. And Summer says, hey, from Texas. Hey, Diana, I'm here. Great info sharing right now. I love it. Milton says, nice. Misha says team replay, so she's going to jump back in later. I appreciate you. Terry, consistency is so hard. Got to work on it. I hear you. That's one of the reasons why I love the live format, because it forces me to show up because you guys are expecting me. And there's also not, there's prep to begin with, but once I go live, I'm done. You know what I mean? But anyways, all right, let me jump in. Christopher says, I definitely do, but not as much as I could be. I think that is it, right? I think most people are dealing with this. So thank you guys so much for weighing in. And now let's get into the art of the remix. All right. So the first tip that I have for you guys is whether you were interviewed or whether you are doing a show like this, whether you've written a blog post, you have your podcast, whatever it is on, or you created it, you've got to find your quotables, aka your sound bites. And quite frankly, if you're planning in advance, you're planning, especially if it's a video or an audio piece of content, you might have your, I call them isms. So Cher isms or Jessica isms or whoever I'm working with, I ask them to actually pull out their isms, things that they say all the time. So there are a lot of things, and you guys know me, so I say a lot of things, and I repeat them because I need people to remember them because they're foundational, but they're the way that you say them. So find your quotables. And then the important reason why you want to do that is because then you can create them into something else. But you got to find them first. So you've got to identify them. So if you were in an interview, for example, isolate them. Just put the time codes on, whether it's like 10 minutes into the podcast, 3 minutes and 33 seconds. Find all of them, because that is so important, because those can be remixed into so many different types of content, from quote cards, so graphic quote cards using Canva, Canva. If you've never been there and you want to make graphic design your thing, even though you can't design anything, trust me, canva.com is the place to go. Someone type that in the comments for those of you who know, and those of you who don't, thank me later. Okay, so you find your quotables so you can isolate them into other content. And let's talk about that for a second. So what you may want to do is try an audiogram. 2 weeks ago, I talked about an app called Headliner, so headliner.app. And basically what it does is it puts little sound waves on an image, and it turns it into a video that really just highlights the audio. So you can take that little clip and create a micro video that's maybe a minute and 30 seconds, where I just get to listen to you. This is great for those of you who are camera shy. And it doesn't mean you had to be on somebody else's podcast or on your own podcast to do this. You can isolate your tips from a blog post and make mini videos that are just audio based that someone can listen to, that isolate a specific point, have a beginning, middle, and end, and all you're doing is just listening to that. And that is an incredible strategy. So again, looking through your articles, looking through your podcasts, looking through your videos, whatever, and find the clips that were full of awesome. You can also take the audio from a video and just put it into an audiogram. So that's one piece, because people right now in 2020, that is something that we've seen emerge over the last year and a half, and they're really becoming popular right now. And that's, again, just a picture with some sound waves, and you can hear the voices, for example. Okay, so next one is to, let's say, for example, you did a long format blog post, and you published that blog post. It was dope, and people really liked it. But I can tell you right now, not everybody read all of it. If there are ways that you can break that long format blog post into a series, go ahead and do it. You might want to turn it into like a 3-part series, for example. Or again, you can take a longer format video and break it into part 1, part 2, part 3. And again, you can take out the stuff that doesn't matter as much, but again, giving people chunks where it's actually connected and people see it as a series, they look forward to the next one. So what you can do it over a series of days, or you can make an appointment with your audience and say, every Tuesday I'm going to drop something new, and you can drop it based off of that series that you created. So that could be something awesome. Or for example, if you have done a series of interviews with other people, you're showing up on other people's platforms. Get down with OPP, other people's platforms. And then you can take the best of clips from those platforms and show a series of that, because you know what that will do? That will entice other creators who have that type of platform, whether it's a blog post series, whether it is a podcast or a video series. They'll look at that and be like, okay, you were over there, there, and there. I need to have you on my show. And that is such an incredible strategy, a brand building strategy in 2020, because there are so many people creating content and they want to see you. So it's another way to showcase that other people are endorsing you and also getting in front of those networks as well. So break something into a series. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to dive into the comments. I want to see what you guys are saying. Okay, so Tim says, hey, y'all. Jennifer says, great idea. Good idea. Denisha's going to try that. And Jamila, thank you so much for putting that in the comments. Canva.com. So that's where I want you to go check it out. Fernando says, Canva is king. Naomi, Canva is the bomb. I agree. Paul Evans, recording Zoom slice and post 1 point as a segment. Paul, in my mind, exactly. You nailed it, my friend. That's advice right there for you guys. Okay, so I want to see you guys try this. And next thing, what we're going to do is, here's my next point. Turn your blog into a video script, or turn your video into a blog post. So what you can do, and I'm going to actually share an app coming up later on the show, and tab that app, 2 P's. I am going to show you another app that can help you, that will basically take the audio and transcribe it into, so if you were speaking, it was basically speaking your content into existence. So what this is a huge helpful app and a helpful tool, because of the fact that the app will then give you the words that you can, it's like, can you hear the words that are coming out of my mouth? And now they're on my screen, right? So what you can do, it makes it really easy to edit, because I find that sometimes coming up with blog posts from scratch, especially if you prefer to be on camera, is harder to write, but it's very much easy to edit. So that's what you want to do. As well, another thing that you may want to do is, if you've written a long format blog post, you can put it into a series. So you can use that as your script or your talking points for a video. So just because you invested in one thing, it means you need to reinvest, remix, repurpose it into something else. So switch it up. And we all know right now that video is still king in the newsfeed. So leverage video where you can. And like I said, if you don't want to appear on camera, but you're still comfortable enough getting your voice out there, use headliner.app. Create a short video that you're not on camera and there's just a picture or multiple pictures. You can do that. Okay, so think about that. All right. A graphic document. So right now, this is still going gangbusters on LinkedIn. You can share documents. And what a lot of people are doing are going ahead over to Canva and creating a series of graphic documents. So basically what it is it could be a bunch of quotes, and each one are isolated and it's saved as a PDF, and you upload that PDF. And this is where, going back to number 1, finding your quotables and then putting it together as a document, right? So what we get when we're seeing these documents is people sliding through and seeing the best of. I believe 2 weeks ago, I featured a scroll stopper where all it was is someone else's quotes from somebody else's podcast and he featured them in a document, and it was super cool. So that's something else you might want to think of. And then on top of that, let's see, what you can do as a graphic document can also be a resource, right? So what you may want to do is create a resource document where it's like a checklist. So it looks graphically pretty. I made up a term there. And here is another idea for you. Create a best of list. So for example, I've done a series on how to rock your lives, or I've done a series of videos, different shows, different videos talking about how to create an awesome brand on LinkedIn. What I can do now is create a roundup list where it shows, where I link to all of my best videos. I'll tell people the time code. You can embed video into a blog post, a LinkedIn article, a Medium article, or you can create a series. I showed this scroll stopper, I think 3 weeks ago, where a creator basically created a list of all her best articles for 2020 so far. And she posted that on Medium, which linked everybody back to LinkedIn. So a best of list now takes your best content and packages it in one convenient location. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to hop back into the comments. I want to hear what you guys are thinking and what you're saying. Okay. Are you going to post this all on YouTube? Absolutely, Fernando. Do you know that this records live to YouTube as well as Twitter, as well as LinkedIn, and even on my Facebook page? So it goes everywhere. And what about if you're speaking at events, says Julie, taking that content when others post it and repurpose it for your page? Now that is good thinking right there, Julie. I love that idea. And also when you're speaking at events, especially when you're negotiating in the beginning, that is when you're going to negotiate copies of the video as well, if they're taking videos or if they're taking stills. You want to, when you are invited to speak at that moment, at the invitation, that's when the negotiation begins. That's when you say, I need a copy of me. Are you going to have a videographer there? Perfect. I would like a copy of my video. I would like these 5 shots, because and 5 shots meaning 5 pictures, so that you can then take that content and remix it. But Julie, I love your idea of taking, so basically that is user generated content. Other people checking the hashtag, checking where people tagged you, and taking that content and perhaps putting something together or highlighting it, creating a roundup document as well. Also, you can edit it into your own video. So there's so many things you can do with the idea. That is the bomb.com in 2020, even though I said the bomb.com like it as if it's like, I don't know, 2005 or something. Anyways, these are my 6 tips to rock the remix of your content or somebody else's content featuring you in 2020. So I hope you guys found that valuable. I'm going to check in to see what you guys are saying. Fabiana came late to the party, but that's okay. What are audiograms? And what are the websites that help with audiograms? So Fabiana, the minute you go to headliner.app, you will see exactly what an audiogram is. Basically, it is just a still image where they now created into a video and they added the voice on top of it. So it becomes an audio, but yet it's still a video because we see the little sound waves of the voice going across the picture. But if you go to headliner.app, I guarantee I guarantee you'll figure out in a second, just like that. Okay. And let's see. Julie says this is awesome. Denisha says I love it. And Christopher is saying massive coverage. Yes, I'm everywhere, Christopher. I'll tell you that much. All right. So let's see now, guys. I want to know what you thinking. Did you like this advice? Does this help you out? Well, my friends, let me know with some love, because right now, guess what we're heading into? we are heading into the scroll stopper of the day. And let me show you. It is brought to you by Mary Henderson. She is a personal branding specialist and she helps coaches and consultants and corporate executives commercialize their personal brand. So this got my attention. And you know what? Let's be honest, right? Game recognized game. Me and Mary, we are cool. We both do the same kind of thing, but that is all good because I see when people do awesome things, and we have collaborated on content before, and Mary is killing it when it comes to content, and she's a smart cookie. Okay, so I have to feature her awesomeness today. So let me just show y'all what I'm talking about. All right, so she puts together, and let me make sure my little piece is showing. So I'm going to actually go over into Mary's content. So bear with me just 1 second. Let's move that out of the way. And this is what I'm talking about, my friends. So Mary created this article looking piece of content that says it basically looks like a magazine, as you can see, magazine layout, and she calls it Authority 5.0. And she comes out with an issue. This is issue number 16, so she's pretty regular with this. And basically what it is has this awesome, it's a document, so it's uploaded as a PDF, but as you can see, the layout looks like a magazine. And it speaks to her target audience. So you take a look, you've got the gorgeous Mary up front. She's the editor, kind of like, O Magazine. You've got Mary rocking it here. And let me see if I can make this a little bigger for you guys. Maybe not. Okay, so what you see here is you've got her at the front. She's featured. She gives you a little note. Then she is talking to her target, which is, he is a leader. He's a CEO. So the article is about... the article targets, it really does speak to her audience, but it's not just one article. So let's take a look at the caption for just a second, because I think that she really does a good job with this caption. And so basically it says, Authority Magazine issue 16 out now. Is leadership in big business dead? And then she says, every person on the planet is a leader in some capacity, but leadership in big business, I'm not sure what that looks like today. So I asked Ronan Leonard, what does leadership look like in big business? He said, and she goes on, what she does is she really did a good job teasing what's inside. So she gave, according to Ronan, what he said and what does that mean. But what she ultimately wants you to do, back to me for a second, what she ultimately wants to do, she did a really good job writing the caption that entices you to want to stick around and read the magazine itself. And the cool thing about the magazine is, let's see here, she features other creators. So let's just take a look here for a second. So if you take a look, you see, and let's not look at me now, you take a look and you see as we go through here, she is talking about Ronan, gives some great tips, but then who's that? Who's the girl at the very top? That's me. And that's not why, guys, let's be honest here, that's not why I am supporting this content, because it is really good content. But at the same time, she shouts out other creators in her space unapologetically, and I absolutely love that. So what I love right now is the fact that she created a magazine in her space that really does give her full credibility, right? And I think that is really important that she does that. And at the end, she even has a call to action. So a CTA, call to action, to subscribe. And all you need to do is hit subscribe in the comments and write subscribe in the comments, and she'll make sure it gets to your inbox. So that is super smart. And again, creating your own publication about your subject matter expertise, going directly to your audience, you cannot ask for a smarter content strategy than that. So well done, Mary. Well done. Awesome job with this content. And guys, think about this for your own industry. It does take a lot of work, but all that work in there is remixable content. You hear what I'm saying? There's more than one article, so there's tons of opportunity to take pieces out of that and remix it. So for example, if she did the interview over Zoom, she can now take pieces of that interview and create a video out of that plugs the magazine. You see what I'm saying? There's so many ways to take one valiant effort and have that be the content that keeps on giving. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to check out right now the comments to see what you guys are saying. And Matthew says this is super helpful. Megan says, love Mary's Magazine. I agree with you, Megan. Nicola says, I joined very late, but received a ton of great ideas. I'm so glad to hear that. You're welcome. And yes, that content is fantastic, Christopher. I agree with you there. And yeah, so guys, take that idea. That stopped my thumb from scrolling. So my friends, was a genuine scroll stopper. So enjoy that idea and see how you can remix it and make it your own. All right, guys. So next up, I want to remind you before I head into Tap That App that if you guys are not following Just Ask Cher, I mean, really? You're not following Just Ask Cher? Follow the hashtag. Later on, when we're done, all you have to do is search the hashtag Just Ask Cher and hit the follow button. And chances are you won't miss much of my remix content as well as this show. And so coming up next in Tap That App, I talked to you guys all about the fact that you need to be remixing your content. And this app is really cool because, like I said before, it will help you create, either speak your content into existence. And that's great. If you have trouble, like I'm one of those people who I edit the first sentence. So that's really a bad thing. If you're constantly editing instead of creating, you're wearing two different hats. So what you can do is speak your content into existence, or take an existing piece of audio or video content and get it transcribed. And there are transcription services out there, or my friends, you can use this app. It's called Speechy. It is a voice dictation app, and it's an easy to use real-time dictation application that uses AI and powerful speech recognition engine. It's incredible. It can dictate into speech. Of course, guys, it is, in-app purchases. So they do have a free access to a lot of it, but there are stuff that you need to pay for. But it's really cool to check out. And you can head over to speechy.app to find it. And if you are, I'm not sure because they don't say that it is on the Android store. Another app that I use personally, and I checked out Speechy, it's pretty cool and I like it. And the reason why I'm featuring it today, I'll show you in just a second. But I also use Otter.ai. So that's another app that I think is awesome. And they give you 600 minutes of free transcription. And then after that, you can level up and pay for it. And it's totally worth it. But either Speechy or Otter.ai, and Otter.ai, I know for sure comes in Android, so it's in the Google Play Store as well as on iTunes or the App Store, sorry. So guys, let's take a look here. The reason why this came up is because Edie Clark, she posted this video just a couple hours ago breaking down exactly how to use it. And I was like, that's pretty cool. And she uses it to write her video scripts. So check out Edie. And check out her video if you want to learn how to use it. She breaks it down in depth. And I just thought, you know what, guys? She did an awesome job. Thought I'd share it. So that's another app for you, and Tap That App. And now, I want to know, do you have any questions about anything I covered today? Anything you want to know? Any ideas for future episodes? Because I want to make sure that I am answering your questions. What's the point of having Just Ask Cher if I don't have time to answer your questions? That's why I extended the time of the show a little bit. So in the meantime, I want to remind you, did you know that sharing is caring? Because if you stuck around for this long, my friends, that means you found value in this show. You definitely want to share it with your audience, with your network, because I bet you that they will find value in this too. So definitely share it with your friends, because like I said, sharing, my friends, is caring, and I would absolutely appreciate it more than you know. And now I'm going to dive into the cues just to see if there are any questions that you need to know. Oh, I love what Fernando's saying is be the CNN, ABC, Bloomberg of your industry. Now that's powerful advice right there, because you are your own, you can create your own media and really be that person, that trusted resource. The reason why those names resonate is because, and those brands, those news brands resonate because you trust them for information, right? So that is really important. And let's see. So Mary Henderson is her last name, Fabiana. You definitely want to check her out. Once you start typing in her name, she should show up. I'll show you her picture once again. Let's go on. I'm going onto her account right now. So take a look at this. So that's Mary Henderson right there, right? And you should be able to find her. All right. Now back to me. It's my show. I'm kidding. Let's see. All right. So, Megan's playing on Headliner for a while, listening, and it is what a find. I agree with you 100%. In fact, Megan, I found out about Headliner, I think was it you? Maybe. I think you posted something about it a while ago. So yes. And Lisa Fenton says, is it Otter AI? You got it, Lisa. So check it out. Donovan Smith says, enjoyed this show. The art of the ditty. This is the remix. I got you. And yes, caring to share. I love it. It is caring to share. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, what metrics? So Christopher's asking, I can't stand that rude timer. That's got to go away. It's going to stress me out. But I will wrap up real quick after I answer this question. What metrics do you personally monitor to understand how successful you are? Okay, so it depends on the goals for individual content. So one of the things that I look for me, because what I want to do is really build my thought leadership in this space on LinkedIn specifically. So the things that I look for these days is how many people are liking my comments on other people's posts, which is a very interesting metric, because if my comments are reaching into other people's news feeds, that means those people care about what I have to say. And it's like 2 levels deep. It means like I have penetrated. And like when I see a lot of likes or a lot of responses to my comments, and I know that they're directly coming from my network, and I can kind of tell that I brought my network over to a post, that to me brings me over the moon. I do look at views versus engagement, because sometimes you can't control the views. Sometimes for whatever reason, your content gets pushed out. Sometimes it doesn't. But what I do is I look at the views versus the ratio of engagement. And that means the likes, how many comments I got. Even if I got low views, but I got high engagement, then that I can't control that sometimes, because the algorithm sometimes is funny. Sometimes you just miss the mark, or sometimes there's system issues, right? So I look at that. I also look at engagement based off of, I'll look at other people and you see that, it looks like they have a lot of engagement, and then you see that they have 200,000 or 300,000 followers. And then when you really take that ratio, you're like, actually your engagement per follower is not that high. So I look at things like that. And more importantly, I'm looking at my performance content by content by content. So I try to compare myself to myself, and I should see an increase. I look at things like my SSI score. So to get that is linkedin.com/sales/SSI, and it will give you an average of how you're doing from an activity, from a brand, like how complete your brand is, and so much and so forth. I won't go into it today because it's like a whole thing, but it shows you your activity over the last 3 months. So that's something I like to see, that score. Am I consistent? Can I justify the dips? Because sometimes you're going to dip, sometimes it's going to drop. So I look at all those things, but it really depends. Your metrics are always determined on what you wanted to get out of the activity. So for example, if I'm on somebody else's show, I look at how many opportunities did that afford me? Meaning, did it increase my following? Did I have people inquiring about how I can help them brand themselves and be social for business? There's so many little things, but it all comes back down to the goals of what you want to accomplish when you created that content, or when you've been building this network. There's so many different things, but I hope that helps. And let me take a look if there's anything else. And Megan says, you bring me a lot of amazing content. LinkedIn is clever. It knows I'm into what you're up to. And it's so true. This is all about the algorithm. I agree, Megan. Absolutely. And guys, Linkalize too. That is something else that I need to take a look at. Randall, was that the other one that you showed me? No, I think I did feature Linkalize. There was another one. I think it was something Shield. But anyways, that will come up in a future episode. And guys, I want to thank you so much for joining me. And also, ladies, if you are interested in an online summit that turns your professional experience into a vibrant, profitable business, you want to check out this free online event. So go to bit.ly/shared cjones-002. I wish I was 007, but that's okay. 002 is fine. Screenshot that right now. And that's where you want to be. And definitely a great, awesome summit for women. And coming up next, guess what? My promise for niching, it has arrived. I have been working on this episode, and it will be next week's episode, how to niche your brand. Do you know how to do that well? Do you know how to do that effectively? Well, I'm going to break it down for you, give you some tips, really allow you to niche in the right way to get you what you want. And also, if you've been having trouble niching, I have the answer why. So come to the next episode every Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time next week, all about niching. And I appreciate you showing up for this. And I will be jumping into the comments after the episode. And of course, if you ever have any questions, all you need to do is just ask Cher. Thanks, guys, so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next episode.